Welcome to Little Bracket of Horrors, the pod that puts a fight in fright. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Derek.
I'm Shelly.
And today we have a very special guest. We got Brian M. What's up, Brian?
Hey, Derek. Hey, Shelly. How you guys doing?
Doing great.
Yeah, man, we're doing good. Yeah, thanks. Thank you so much. Brian was a fan submission. He brought us Behind the Mask, Leslie Vernon. So we are lucky enough that Brian was able to join us on the phone today.
Yeah, sorry I couldn't be there in person, but
No
that's what I have
sweat.
to do.
Yeah,
We got the technology.
Perfect. Yes, we will rebuild.
Yes. But yeah, so we had a fan submission today from Brian, and obviously when we have a new guest on, we like to ask a couple questions so our listeners can get a little behind-the-scenes look on our visitors. So, Brian, are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. All right, so Brian, what was the first horror movie you remember watching?
Well, technically the first one is kind of horror-y. When I was 3 years old, the very first movie I ever saw in the theaters was the original Ghostbusters movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then as far as like actual horror, one time my mom was watching A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3 and I tried to watch it and then I got freaked out when that little girl turns into a skeleton.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, nope, I'm done. I'm going to go play with my Legos in the other room.
Yes. I have a very early memory of Nightmare 2, the bus scene in the beginning.
Oh, God,
And
yeah.
it freaked me out. I ran upstairs and hid. It wasn't happening.
No.
So I get it. I hear that.
For some reason, I thought I knew that Nightmare was going to be Brian's response because I feel like some background. Me and Brian worked at Disney
Yes.
for like years together, so we hung out a lot, played a lot of Guitar Hero, went to a lot of
Sick.
movies. So I feel like we talked extensively. Plus, he had like he has the Freddy claws.
Oh, that's nice.
Gloves.
Yeah, that's
I don't know
sick.
if you still have
Not
that shit.
I don't have the good ones. I have the shitty plastic ones. I need to upgrade.
The ones you can play outside with.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Fantastic. All right, so next question. What's the scariest thing that's ever happened to you?
Well, Shelly knows about this because she was there when this happened.
Okay.
I thought that might be your response.
Okay, let's hear it.
So go ahead. Go ahead, yeah.
So in 2007, I randomly got a brain tumor.
Oh, no.
Yep,
no.
yep. It was quite the time in Brian's life.
Yeah.
But a lot of us, we worked at the Great Movie Ride all together, not just at Disney. Really rallied behind him. I used to drive Brian to some of his, I think you were getting radiation at the time.
Yeah, I was doing radiation.
So I used to drive Brian because you can't really drive after you receive radiation like that.
Yeah.
So,
Knocked out.
but the good news is, how many years have you been in remission now, Brian?
I mean, it's been since 2007, 2008.
Oh,
Yeah.
good.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, and I think you go yearly still, or do you go like every other year?
Yeah, I go yearly for MRIs and stuff. So
Good. Yeah. Well, that's, I'm glad we are where we are now.
Absolutely, yeah.
I can't imagine.
Definitely.
I can't imagine going through that and going through all that chemo and stuff or radiation. Sorry.
Yeah, it sucks, but I mean, like, you know, I had Shelly and everybody rooting for me, so that was like definitely the biggest thing.
We had a good
Just
little
staying
group
positive and everything.
of
Yeah.
friends at a GMR.
Yeah.
Well, we call it GMR. That's little
Great
Movie
logo, lingo there for you. But we all like stuck by. We rallied behind him. We lifted him up when he needed to be lifted out. I think we did like a movie night to see
we
the
saw
new
the
Teenage Mutant Ninja
the
Turtle
Ninja Turtles
movie.
movie. Yep.
Yeah. So we would just make sure that like life stayed because you were still working for the most part.
Oh, wow.
A lot of the times when you could, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, we would still go over to your house and have Guitar Hero nights. And
Yep.
That's amazing. You worked through the whole treatment. I think that shows a strong will and a positiveness for you to, keep life normal while you're going through some absolutely insane stuff.
Yep. Just keep a sense of humor and try to be positive.
I love that. Well done, Brian.
yeah, kudos.
Yes, I like a positive person, and you are extremely positive to go through that and have that mindset. So
Thank you.
perfect. All right. What would you rather be bitten by? Vampire, zombie, or a werewolf?
I'm probably going to have to go werewolf on this one.
Yeah, Team
Yes!
Werewolf.
Woo-hoo! Team werewolf, hashtag.
I thought about doing vampire, but I'm like, I work third shift and I just can't make it through the night. I'm too lazy.
So essentially, you're
Yeah.
already a vampire right now because you're working.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a very logical approach to that answer. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because, we've asked this question to so many people.
Several people. At this
And
point.
Right.
we have never got a bite on the zombie. And
We know that's not going to happen. Maybe
No,
we should just make
who wants
it
to do that?
werewolf or vampire. Maybe we should revamp that question.
So I got a comment on Spotify, which I didn't even know you could do
Really?
that. I got we got an email.
I saw that, but I didn't go look at the comment itself.
Yeah, a Sabrius Bukowski. She commented on Spotify and she said, "I mean, I'm okay with being a zombie. I already feel like one anyways." So someone
that's
out there
true.
would be, and shout out to Sabrius.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
I know. Thanks for listening. Thanks for the comment. But I absolutely had to highlight that because I didn't think anyone would ever say zombie.
I mean, I feel that. Like,
Yeah, and-
sometimes you do, but
Yeah, definitely.
Oh no, I definitely identify with that, and especially working 9 to 5 stuff. You're just like, ugh, it's Groundhog
yeah.
Day again. So
every day. Yeah.
so I had to give a shout out to Sabrius. So
yeah,
thanks for listening.
Thanks for
the
listening.
comment.
Yeah. Make sure you submit a film for next season. Maybe we'll
Yeah,
get
we'd
to
love
talk to you
to.
one of these days. So.
I'd love to ask you the question to get more of a
Right.
background on
Yeah.
that
Like
zombie
let's
answer.
learn more.
Yeah. All right, Brian. Next one. Who do you think wins in a fight? Freddy, Jason, or Michael Myers?
It's not even a question. It's Freddy. I saw
Yes.
I saw Freddy versus Jason in the theater 3 times. It's Freddy.
Yes. Freddy's just he's the physical world, your dreams. I mean, I don't know how you escape him.
He can do it all.
No, there's no way. And
Yeah.
plus, he can get out too.
Exactly. He can bring it to that physical world, so you got to look out.
You're not safe.
Plus, I think Michael Myers is just too emotionally attached.
Yeah, he's got a very specific crew he's after,
hmm
or any adjacent people as well.
Exactly.
Last question. What is your favorite scary movie?
I can't narrow it down to just one, so I have a couple.
Love it.
All right, so we have the original 1978 Halloween,
Yes, classic.
the aforementioned Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3.
Oh, good.
I
I'm glad
actually
that you came
prefer
around.
that to the original.
Yeah, good.
Next up, we have The Thing, which won my
So
season 1
good.
bracket. I know it did.
It won
Well,
mine
you
too.
know,
It
bracket.
won mine too, Brian.
Oh, that's right. Yes,
Yeah,
it did.
yeah, it did. Yeah.
Friday the 13th, I'm a little flip-floppy on that one, but I tend to gravitate towards Part 6 just because of the
Ooh.
humor
Yeah.
in that one. And we just talked about this one a couple episodes ago, Scream.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
good.
Yes, which I'm glad that you guys did like the thing where you were talking about like who killed who as
Yeah.
Ghostface and whatnot. I actually did the same thing back in the day with my high school girlfriend. We were actually like on the phone watching our separate VHS copies, and we went through like the whole movie trying to figure out like who did what to when and where.
Yeah.
So I appreciated you guys doing that because that brought back some good memories of that.
Yeah, and all props to my wife on that. She's one like, let's play a game at the end and see if we can figure out who did who at what moment. I was like, all right, cool.
That's what she said.
Props to Kate. That's what she said. Awesome, Brian. Well, thank you for answering those questions. I'm
Yeah,
sure
absolutely.
everyone's got a little bit of background on you. And with that, Shelly, you watch anything scary or anything scary happen since we last chatted?
Well, yeah. I mean, we kind of last chatted. It's hard sometimes because me and Carrie are basically
Yes.
wives.
Sister
So
wives,
like we
yeah.
talk a lot.
Mhm.
So I know I just chatted to you like last night.
Yeah.
But I just binged all the Paranormal Activity movies after
Uh-huh.
watching the Paranormal Activity for the
Mhm.
podcast with Nathan. And yeah, I really enjoyed the journey. There was a couple that lost me.
Yeah.
I loved Marked Ones
Yeah.
after it kind of everything started happening.
It-
In the
yeah, when
beginning,
it
it was
picks up.
kind of just silly. I was like,
Yeah.
this is stupid. And then I love how they ended it. Ghost Dimension's okay, but
Mhm.
I didn't really like Next to Kin because all the whole series they tied it back to Toby and this midwife's coven, and for whatever reason, Next to Kin, I don't know. Someone said that maybe that was like a metaphysical
Okay.
creation of Toby, like it is a part of it, but
Oh, that
like
thing
I
in
was
the
like,
well. Yeah.
But I was like, that kind of looked like the thing from Smile.
Yeah, very, very true.
But yeah, at the end of the day, I was like, it was. Someone also said it's just like a new story, and I think that's what you're saying. But I don't know, to like go that far for so long and then just suddenly be like, here's a new storyline, and I'm like, God, we're invested now. Like, is someone? And that was the other thing. I was getting so mad. I was like, can anyone beat this fucking midwife, like Toby and all this shit?
Yeah.
Can anyone get past? It's just all bad news every time. But I also binged the Saw series and finally watched Saw X.
Ooh.
Have you seen Saw X, Brian?
No, I haven't.
It's a new take. It's hard to call it a prequel.
Okay.
But Jigsaw's back, even
Nice.
though we know he's dead. No spoilers. These movies have been out for like 20 years.
Yeah, really.
So he's back, and a lot of the original characters are back. So I think it happens around like Saw 1 or 2 is what I saw online.
Oh, okay.
In one of the Saw movies, as everyone knows, he has like an aggressive cancer.
Yes.
Brain cancer. Oh. Oddly
Yeah.
enough, a tumor. We're bringing it full circle. So at one point he goes to this insurance guy and says, hey, there's this experimental procedure in Mexico. This movie follows him going to Mexico.
Cool.
And I'll leave it at that because things happen. But
that sounds fun.
not a bad watch. I was a little confused the direction they were going. And after binging the whole series, including that Spiral movie.
That's dedication.
Yeah, I kind of was like, what? It was a little like disconnected, juncted. But
and it also like blends together too, because it's like a lot of them take place like concurrently. So
you could actually mix up the Saw movies and watch them in chronological order, which means you don't technically. I don't think you watch one first. If you did watch it in the correct order when things are actually happening, because they do a lot of like Saw movies are notorious for their flashbacks explaining why they are where they are. And because of that, you can kind of like change the order and watch it in the correct order based on when people start working for, calling him Jigsaw. He has a real name.
Oh, yeah.
John Kramer.
Yeah, because I saw the first two in the theater like when they came out. And then I'm glad I did not watch the third one right away, because that was the one with the brain tumor and the brain surgery. So
yeah,
that would have really sucked.
Yeah, really.
Third's a good one though.
I bailed on the Saw franchise. I think after the third or fourth one, I was too much, and I was like, ugh.
I stayed with it through the 3D
That's awesome.
one. 7.
I need to watch them. Yeah.
But I was like 7, so ridiculous. Like even like Lincoln Park, the Chester, who's no longer with us.
Yeah,
right?
Rip.
He's in that movie, and I'm like, and now it's getting like too mainstream. Like, I'm like, if this lead singer from
Maroon 5.
Yeah, right.
I'd actually like to see him in a Saw situation, to be honest
Adam,
with you.
what's his name? Levine.
Levine, yeah.
Anyway, so that's what I've watched scary lately.
Awesome. What about you, Brian? Watch anything scary lately you want to talk about, or anything scary happen?
Well, I did watch Leslie Vernon a shitload of times.
Yeah.
Prepare for the podcast.
The Mets lost. That was scary for him, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry about that, Brian.
I actually just finished Chucky season 3 just wrapped up, so I've been watching that.
Oh, nice.
Is that on Sci-Fi?
It's on Sci-Fi in USA. So
okay, cool.
But since the season's over, I think they have like all the episodes are up on like Peacock now. So
you said it just wrapped up?
Yeah.
Are you happy with where it is?
Yes, because I mean they left it open for a possible season 4.
Okay.
And there's actually a phone number that you can call.
Ooh.
And Chucky will talk to you.
That's awesome.
And then you can get text messages from Chucky.
I'm gonna have to get that number just so I can get text messages from Chucky. That's sick. And anything else?
Not recently. I've just been busy with work and whatnot, so I definitely need to catch up on stuff.
Yeah.
I'm hoping actually because I know Shelly picked Battle Royale.
Yeah.
For the wheel, so I'm hoping that we get to that.
It's still in the bag.
It's still in the bag. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been forever since I've watched it, so it'll give me an excuse to watch that.
My mom was blown when I first watched it, and I went and got the DVDs very quickly.
Oh, you own them?
I do.
Nerd.
I bought the DVD for Leslie Vernon.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yes.
It's so funny because I was not aware at the time when we first landed on Leslie Vernon that it was on YouTube for free, and I could have just found it there. So I was like, well, if I have to pay like $12 on Amazon to buy it, I might as well pay $10 more and have a physical copy. So I
Exactly.
just bought it off of Amazon. I think it's a Shout Factory or Scream Factory's
Yeah, that's
release.
the one I have.
Yeah. So I was like, I'll just buy it, and then it came in the mail, and I was like, oh yeah, I never checked YouTube, and obviously it was there for free, but it doesn't come with the subtitles and all the bonus fun features. So there you go.
I think I think they said that they actually the channel that was on, because I went ahead and watched down there too, just as a little refresher.
Yeah.
I think the guy said he was uploading the commentaries and some of the bonus features as well.
Oh, nice. That'll be good. That'll be really nice.
But I mean, you have the Blu-ray, so you
Yeah,
got
there
all
you
that
go.
stuff. But most of the commentaries are really good.
I still have to watch those, but I'll be digging in because, as you will see, I was a big fan of this movie.
Glad to hear it.
Yeah. For me, I watched Late Night with the Devil. That was awesome. It's tough for us as horror fans to watch something that is original and something that's like, a devil possession, like that's unoriginal. But the way in which they give it to us via this lost tape of this late night talk show was awesome. I forget the main actor's name, but he killed it. A lot of crazy stuff happening. And it was a lot of fun. It's on Shudder right now, just totally original. And I was a big fan of that movie. Have you seen Late Night with the Devil, Brian?
I have not.
Totally recommend it.
I've not watched it, but it's streaming in a lot of places.
Yeah, I'm sure just give it a little time and it'll be in a bunch of other places as well. But highly recommend Late Night with the Devil. So
Cool.
let's get into our movie, guys. So the first segment is Dig Up the Bones. And with this, I introduce the movie we watch and give a brief summary. So here we go. Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon is a slasher mockumentary film released on March 12th, 2006. Directed, produced, and written by Scott Glosserman. He produced 2 other films, Truth and Numbers, everything according to Wikipedia, and then The Truth Below. And he hasn't done anything since 2011, but he did. This is a fun fact. Yep, there you go. Brian's aware. But he founded a company called Gather in 2011, and they are involved in event and talent bookings, along with creating a platform for artists and creators to monetize their projects. So he's doing stuff in the entertainment industry, just not behind the camera too much anymore. All right, we also co-written, also produced by David J. Stevie. He wrote Days Like This, and then a short in 2023 called Wait For It. And I got another fun fact. Wait For It was actually set in the same universe as Leslie Vernon, and it's from the Survivor girl's perspective. So
I had no idea.
I tried to see if it's available anywhere. It's not on YouTube. I think there might be something popping up soon, but if anyone a fan of this, keep your eyes peeled for Wait For It. And obviously, if we see something in the future, we'll post it up. But that would be a really cool, different perspective on this film. Next up on music, we got Gordon Hab. He also produces a lot of video game music, but he did work on Star Wars Jedi Survivor, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and then Halo Wars 2. So there's some additional work he's done on video games. Cinematography, Jason Present, who also worked on Rampage, the TV series Poker Face, and then Shelley, This Bit's For You. He also did the music video for It's All Coming Back to Me Now by your boy, say it, Meatloaf.
That's a cinematic experience.
And that's quite the video, too. That's a great video. And then special effects coordinator, Kay Shelton. She also did work on Star Trek Insurrection, Star Trek Nemesis, and then the Adam Driver movie 65.
I saw that.
Was it good?
It's got Adam Driver, and of course I saw it.
It's got dinosaurs, too.
Yeah, right. So it was like 2 of my favorite things.
All right, so budget, $800,000. Box office, $69,136. A little rough. Sequels, prequels, none to date. Rotten Tomatoes gives this movie a 75%. Moving on to our cast, starring Nathan Basil as Leslie Vernon, Angela Goethals as Taylor, Ben Pace as Doug the camera guy, Britton Spellings as Todd the camera guy, Robert Englund as Doc Halloran, Scott Wilson as Eugene, Bridget Newton as Jamie, and then we finish it off with Zelda Rubinstein as Miss Colin Wood. So, Leslie Vernon, a slasher-obsessed killer, reaches out to a reporter, Taylor Gentry, and her camera crew to document his life's work. They tag along while he preys on his survivor girl, Kelly Curtis, a local high schooler. As Leslie pulls back the curtain and shows them the inner workings of being a calculated killer, Taylor and the boys are presented with a journalistic dilemma. Do they continue to document Leslie or become part of his story?
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, 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 indeed. So, reactions. I'm going to go to you, Brian. You gave it to us to put on the wheel. It was a fan submission, so...
Okay, so you remember like back in the day, like when you actually had cable and you would get like free previews of, the movie channels?
Yes.
So I had, and then like you would set up like on your TiVo like certain actors, and it would like let you know, hey, this movie is on with this person that you want to watch. So I had a free preview of Stars, and Robert Englund was one of the people I had set up on the TiVo. And so this movie Behind the Mask of the Rise of Leslie Vernon pops up. So I'm like, I'm reading the description. I'm like, oh, this looks kind of interesting. So I went ahead and set it up to record. And after I watched it, I'm like, oh my God, this is like nothing I've seen before.
Yeah.
TiVo, what a throwback.
Yeah, really.
Exactly. Because I know Shelley had said that she's seen it, and
Yes.
like when she comes across people that haven't seen it, she's excited for them to watch it. And I know, Derek, you said you hadn't watched it up until this point because you wanted to keep it fresh.
Yeah.
So I was excited for you to watch this movie.
I was super excited because I think didn't you submit it for us last year as well, Brian?
I did. I think it got on the wheel, but obviously it didn't get picked.
Yeah, it was always a bridesmaid, never a bride situation with
Right.
Leslie Vernon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, when we landed on it last round, I was ecstatic. I've heard high things from Shelley about it. Obviously, Brian, you're a big fan of it, so I trust you guys, and I know you have good taste. I wasn't sure at all what I was getting into. I didn't know the tone of this film, and as I got into it, I was tickled, and it was a joy. But yeah.
Awesome.
What about you, Shelley? What was your initial reactions?
Yeah, it's a good movie. I watched it a couple times, and then I watched it again with Sherry, and she had seen it before. But it's one of those movies like a lot of people don't mind picking up again.
No, it's an easy rewatch.
Yeah,
like Scream. Like you can catch a lot more things. There's little Easter eggs for those of us who are horror fans. The more you watch, the more little Easter eggs you find.
See, yeah. So
yep, we'll be covering those in the fun facts.
Oh, yes. I can't wait. All right, so let's get into our roundtable discussion, Feasting Fiends. And this is where we discuss the topics of overall pros, overall cons of the movie, characters, dialogue, and then our favorite kills / scares. Brian, take it away.
with
All
pros.
right, so
Yeah, with
You have
pros.
with my pros.
It's just an automatic. We've been doing this for so long. I'm just like, I'm not going to clue everyone in and guide this correctly.
You're the host,
I know.
essentially. Come on now.
I should know better. All right, Brian, give us your pros.
All right, so right off the bat, for anybody that hasn't seen the movie yet, it starts off like any normal slasher movie. And then as we get into the documentary part, right soon afterwards, you just start hearing all these oh my God, did they just mention Michael Myers by name? Did they just mention Freddy Krueger by name? What is this movie? What are we about to be in for?
Yeah.
So it just sets it up to be something original, which is hard to find nowadays, but especially at the time when this came out in 2006. And that's basically my major pro for it. I mean, we'll get into the characters and stuff, but
Yeah. Shelley, what are your pros?
So I love the plot as a whole. It definitely is a love letter to slasher movies.
Yes.
So if you're a huge horror fan, not just horror, but slasher fans, specific, any the Freddy, Jason, Michael kind of thing, it is very much catered to the people who enjoy those kind of movies. So I do love the plot as a whole. I love how it's shot and when it turns into an actual movie,
Me
that
too.
little twist in and out where it comes in and out of being a documentary, but then an actual movie. And sometimes you don't even realize it's happening. The library scene, you're oh, we're getting it from an overview perspective. So I really love that. And, of course, little Easter eggs that you see throughout. That's definitely something I enjoy. I mean, it's a good, solid story. And it is, it's a mockumentary where it's kind of making fun of horror movies and slashers and whatnot, but in itself is a slasher movie. So, and people cosplay as Leslie Vernon. You can see that. I saw that cosplay a lot, and I was like, what the fuck is that? Why are you walking around with a blue mask? I am so confused. And then I finally watched the movie, and I was like, oh, I get it now.
Yeah.
So like people look at him as like a slasher. So
Yeah.
I think that's cool. So those are my pros.
You know, we talked about it being, you know, a well-written mockumentary, but I did not go into this knowing that it had that comedic tone, and I'm a huge like comedy mockumentary fan. Like all those Christopher Guest movies.
Oh yeah,
like
yeah.
Best in Show and Waiting for Guffman. Like I love those movies. So right away, like especially with like the interview sections with Taylor and Leslie, like it was hilarious to me.
Yeah.
And I love that. And then when it shifted from the documentary to like that movie style, like in the final third act, I thought it was so creative and well done because, you know, they're making this documentary, the whole movie, and then all of a sudden they're going to be a part of it. So now it's a movie. And we get like the soundtrack starts going, like I forget, I just said the guy's name who did the music, but you know, that's where he comes into play. And I just thought it was really clever, really well written. And then I love that in this world, Jason, Freddy, Michael, like they all exist.
Yeah.
They exist.
They're like real people.
Yeah, these are real serial killers. Eugene talking about it, like how he's like this old slasher guy, and after him is when those guys came around. And I thought it was just super cool that within this reality of what we're watching is like all these slasher films that we love really happen. So I love that. I love that part of it as well. And yeah, those are my pros.
Nice.
Let's move on to cons. Brian, what do you got? What do you not like about this movie that you love?
Pretty much the only major con I had was there's a part like towards the end where Leslie's explaining how like things are going to happen, like once he starts like triggering the kills to start.
Yeah.
That one part just took me out of it because like everything else has been like, you know, like real time, like them talking or them filming him, but that just like it was shot like it was actually happening, but it was just him explaining it. So that was like the first time like I saw that, it kind of took me out of it because I didn't is this happening or no, it's him explaining what's going to happen,
Yeah,
or what's supposed to happen, and that took me out of it a little bit just because of the way the rest of the movie is shot. But that's really the only con I had as far as that goes.
Nice. What about you, Shelley? What do you got?
I think the acting as an ensemble had weaknesses. There was some strong ones, but like even sometimes, and I know it's a mockumentary, maybe I'm pulling at strings a little bit, but even Taylor, I was like, stop. You're doing the most. So I'm going to say as the ensemble, but there were some gems. I think none of the college kids were really great.
I think they could have cut it down to just Kelly and her boyfriend, like the two
Right,
stoner
yeah,
kids. I was like,
yeah,
ugh. And then the other, I didn't even bother learning their names because I was just like,
I don't know any of their names.
Yeah.
Um,
I still don't know who was who out of that bunch.
Right,
But
exactly.
I don't think you're really supposed to know like who they are.
Yeah,
which, like,
it's not
it
really
kind of works
pertinent, but
yeah.
a little bit, but
They're just there
Yeah.
to get moited.
exactly.
the shakiness of the camera towards the end got me like, burp.
Yeah.
So that made me a little queasy. It was a lot. And then I wanted a little bit of more of the backstory stuff.
Yeah.
Not just for Leslie, but for Eugene as well. They alluded to Eugene being a old retired slasher. What was your slasher name, dude?
Yeah.
Like what was your like means of killing? Like what was your thing?
It's not specifically mentioned in the film.
You got a fun fact,
But-
Brian.
Yes, I do have a fun
Say
fact.
fun fact.
Fun fact.
fact.
Fun fact. So it's actually he's supposed to be an older version of Billy from Black Christmas.
It was,
No idea.
I guess it was, it was
Unless
never
someone
explicit.
fed that to me on a plate, I wouldn't have known. You all suck. No, I'm just- I also didn't look at any trivia or fun fact. I have no fun facts.
That's good. I imagine Brian's coming with a dump truck.
It's
full.
fine.
Yeah.
But those were my only cons.
Okay. So I understand the mask. You know, it looks like a turtle, but I thought the craftsmanship on it just looked a little cheap. I thought they could have put a little bit more thought into it.
So you're saying it was craftsmanship?
Craftsmanship, exactly. But yeah, I just thought it just looked like a baby head to me, and I thought they could have worked on it a little bit more and created something maybe a little bit more scary. I actually thought when he was putting the goop on his face and getting ready and he had the black around his eyes, I thought he looked scarier, more creepy there. I was like, they could have just left him with that stuff, and it would have looked better. But yeah, I was not a fan of the mask. Also, with some of the killings, I don't like that we really didn't see anything. Like with Mrs. Collingwood's in the library, I didn't even know that he hit her, and then she just fell over. Dr. Halloran showed up, and then she just dropped to the ground. I was like, what even happened to her? So I think showing some more of the kills, being more consistent with it, because we got a bunch when he was at the farmhouse with the kids. But I think a little bit more consistency in that department would have helped. And then this is a petty one. I always like a petty con, but the title for this movie is way too fucking long. When you have to post for social media and type it 1,000 times, clarification, I do like to copy and paste. But when I'm like online searching up stuff and I constantly have to type in the Rise of Leslie Vernon, Behind the Mask, and all that stuff, it's too much. And I think, fun fact, originally this was just supposed to be Behind the Mask, but one of the Hannibal Lecter movies was coming out, and they were going to originally call it Behind the Mask. So Mr. Glosserman decided he needed to add something in to differentiate, so he added the Rise of Leslie Vernon. But when the Hannibal Lecter movie came out, they called it something else. So this was all for nothing. The change to the very long name was for nothing.
Yes, and there are like other documentaries that are actually called Behind the Mask.
Okay, there you go.
Because I was trying to look to see if there was any place that it was streaming.
Yeah.
And so like I typed in on my Tubi, or not Tubi, Roku, like I typed in Behind the Mask, and it said it was playing on like Tubi, but the thing that's on Tubi is like some other actual documentary, so it's not the same movie.
Oh yeah. I wonder if that was after this.
It is streaming on AMC Plus. I got a free trial for a week.
Oh, you did?
Because I don't have that one,
Nice.
so I was like, I gotta cancel it.
So if it's on AMC Plus, shouldn't it be on Shudder too?
I thought so because AMC Plus has Shudder, but
Yes.
I looked on Shudder and it is not there.
Me
I double
too.
checked.
I know.
And then I thought because it's on AMC Plus, sometimes because I do have access to YouTube TV,
Okay.
sometimes you can just find it like on demand on AMC there, but no luck.
Oh jeez.
So
Yeah.
I just did the free trial and I'll cancel it before they charge me.
All right, next up we have characters. Brian, what do you got?
All right, so without the chemistry between Leslie and Taylor, this movie is nothing.
Yeah.
They have such great chemistry together, and I'm surprised Nathan Basil hasn't done anything else.
I agree.
Really.
I have that in my notes. I'm like, what? Nathan Basil, why? I thought he was so good. Like when he was, his comedic stuff was perfect. And then when he had to turn it on a dime and show like Psycho, it was great. So I was like, Nathan Basil, what happened? Why not? I mean, maybe he's into the post-production stuff. Maybe that's where his heart lies. But man, he was phenomenal in this. I agree too.
Yep. And that was actually my next point was like,
sorry.
he could, no, that's fine. Because I'm glad you felt the same way. Like he could just like flip on and off, like being absolutely charming and being an absolute menace. Like that.
Well, he's got a credit for Wait For It, this movie that's supposed to come out last year.
Oh, really? Okay.
It's a short. I bet you can find it like online.
Okay. Yeah.
It's only 13 minutes long. And it's
okay.
not on the DVD. You can't buy it. Like, it's not even on the special features.
Mm-mm.
That's odd. You would think
Yeah.
even though if they're still making releases of the DVD that they would add it.
Yeah, that's true. I saw him on, I like to watch the Kill Count from the Dead Meat podcast. I don't know if you watch that stuff, Brian.
Yeah, I did see that he pops up at the end of that.
Yeah, he popped up at the end and I was like, oh, he looks great. I wish I saw him in more stuff. But yeah.
Right.
So it was good to see him at least there. So did you have any characters you hated, Brian?
I mean, like we said, like the generic supporting
Yeah.
teenagers or whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't think that we're really supposed to care about them, really. So I'm fine not knowing about them because they were just there, and that was pretty much all they were supposed to be.
Yeah, just to get hit with a scythe. What about you, Shelley? What do you got for characters?
I obviously had Leslie as my favorite character.
Yes, everything.
And as a con, as you heard, I didn't really like much of anyone else. But, I mean, I just thought, like, he's just so clever. Everything, dialogue. I mean, when he would get excited, he's like, we have an AM. And I'm like, everyone's like, what the fuck is AM? I love how they, like, gave, like, things to what happens in horror movies. Like, they defined them and gave them names. I'm wondering if that's a thing maybe, like, behind the scenes that they call things. But I was like, everyone's like, what's AM?
Yeah.
And I like how I did enjoy when Taylor was like, we have an AM. What's an AM?
Yeah.
But yeah, so he just really was great, and he really kept you in it. And like when it flipped to actual movies, he flipped.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was I really liked everything about him.
Yeah. As far as like, I thought there were a couple like really enjoyable relationships in this movie. Specifically, I really thought it was interesting between like Eugene and Jamie. You know, and there, I don't know if it was like a throwaway line, but apparently Jamie was the survival girl for Eugene.
Yeah.
There was like this very loving, like almost mom and dad relationship that they had with Leslie that I thought was very interesting and actually kind of heartwarming. I saw that Leslie, I think, was trying to create that same relationship that they had with Taylor because, you know, when they were having the interviews and stuff and like hanging out and he's like showing her all this stuff, like there was like this weird, almost like romantic feel between them, I thought. So I just loved the relationships a lot between the characters. And, you know, obviously when they first show up to and we get introduced to Eugene and he's in that deprivation tank for 3 days, I was laughing my ass off. I thought it was hilarious.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. The one character I did not like was the camera guy, Todd. I thought he was just skeezing.
Was he the fat or skinny one?
He was the fat one.
Okay.
That was doing the creep shots in the library of Kelly.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, dude, she's underage. Slow it down. Slow it down, buddy. But yeah, I think that pretty much takes me through my feels on the characters.
Just shout out to Robert Englund for actually playing the good guy for once.
Right.
Because that was how I found the movie in the first place, was because of him. But he totally plays the Sam Loomis character.
Exactly. Even with the jacket. Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is so funny because Robert Englund, I think for a lot of movies, if he was playing essentially like a bit part like he played in this, I might have some grievances. But I think with Nathan Basil's performance and what they had, like, I don't feel like I missed a lot with Robert just having this like little bit part. So him showing up was a lot of fun and his moments were super cool. But I was not upset that I didn't have more Robert Englund in it. So I think that's just good writing and a good movie altogether. So let's move into dialogue. What do you got, Brian?
The only one that really stood out to me was like when they're in the library.
Uh-huh.
And then they're just like, you know, there's all the books behind him, and he's like, and he pulls out the copy, Paradise Lost, found it. Which fun fact, that was improvised.
Oh, that was improvised.
Nathan had planned the book there ahead of time.
Okay.
So he could do that joke.
That's perfect. I thought it was serendipitous or something, but no, he's planning these little funny moments.
Too funny.
Yeah.
That was funny.
What about you, Shelley? What do you got?
Yeah, there's no like deep dialogue. You could look at like the way she monologues it in the beginning. That monologue was really cool for the horror fans, and they had the whole Kane Hodder bit in front of the Elm Street house.
Yeah.
But if people don't know, Kane Hodder plays Jason in the Friday the 13th series,
and he's going inside
the Nightmare on Elm Street home.
So good.
So I picked just a funny one that made me laugh, where Doug goes, "What kind of a survivor girl passes out in a pinch?" And Todd goes, "Passes out? What kind of survivor girl hops on the Nerdy Kids Johnson like it's a pogo stick?"
That was a shocker, yeah.
Hilarious.
That whole final third scene with the realization of Kelly maybe not being what they all thought she was very good.
Hilarious.
Yes. I had the Paradise Lost found it written down as well. But
you did?
Yeah. Nice. But I did have a backup just because, you know, I could have chosen any of the conversations between Taylor and Leslie just because there's a lot of just weird, awkward pauses and moments, and she just asked questions that were a little like she's not grasping what's going on. So this was the part where Leslie was given like a rundown of how things were going to go down at the Vernon farmhouse. And then he started talking about the closet and how it was like a euphemism for stuff. But he said, we have a code of ethics, Tay. The closet is a sacred place. It's symbolic of the womb. It's the safest place to be because in the womb, we're innocent. And then Taylor said, so does that mean you're pro-life, Leslie? She's asking a serial killer who's planning on taking out all these teenagers if he's pro-life. She asked him like again later too, but the way that he looked at her and it was just silent was hilarious to me. And you can ask my wife. I was dying last night again. It was like the fourth time I watched it, and I was still laughing my ass off.
Yeah, he just pulls the part off so good. Like I can't like see anybody else doing that.
Yeah, such good work from Nathan on that. So next up, we have favorite kill / scare. So Brian, what do you have, buddy?
The one that stands out the most to me, like we said earlier, a lot of it there's like a good chunk that happens like off screen,
Yeah.
so it's a little inconsistent, but you have to appreciate the one where it's like one of the stoners, and then Leslie just shoves that post hole digger into his chest,
yeah.
pulls his heart out, and then hands it back to him.
Yep, that was like the most active kill. You know, this movie's got, I would say it's definitely low on the scares. You know, it's not going to be that scary when you're getting a behind the curtain look. And the kills, like I said, it wasn't as consistent like we discussed earlier. But yeah, that post hole to the heart and then to hand it to him was genius. But that was my favorite kill too.
Was
Did you have a different one?
I
Shelly?
did have a different one.
Oh, let's hear.
I actually have the whole library scene.
Yeah.
So like when they first show up to the library scene, it's documentary, and he's like running around, and he's like a little monkey, and he's like planting things like articles and stuff. But then it switches to as an actual movie, and we're watching the so-called final girl, or the, what do they call, survivor girl? They're calling it a survivor girl, which is another like, you're making fun of the actual terms. But anyways, they switch to like, we're watching her find this article and everything. Great little call out that the psychic from from Poltergeist.
Tangina?
Is the librarian. She's really old. I don't know. She must have passed away shortly after.
That was her last movie.
Yeah, I was going to say. Fun fact.
Yep.
Fun fact.
So it switches to her working with this librarian to find the article and the plants, that it's like they're related and everything. And then suddenly Leslie shows up behind the librarian, just like kills her instantly. But then Robert Englund shows up, and it's that kind of got me a little bit when the gun went off.
Yeah.
And then, it's the whole him getting away and that whole scene. So I like that kill. I like that whole scene.
He was kind of like a crack shot, though, because he could have shot Kelly.
Oh, I know.
She
was right there. It was very dangerous.
It was very dangerous.
How reckless of the doctor.
How dare you? It was an 87 Honda.
I drive an 87 Honda. All right, guys, that takes us to Final Cut. And this is where I reveal the shocking ending of the film, and we discuss and give our ratings of 1 to 5 stabs. 1 stab, no redeeming value. 2 stabs, bad. 3 stabs, mediocre. 4 stabs, good. 5 stabs, masterpiece. Spoiler alert, I don't know.
We kind of stopped doing that.
Sure, I mean, it came out in 2006, so.
Yeah, really.
Also, if you're listening to a review podcast, we're going to talk about the movie. Like, sorry, I hate to call any of you, like, facetious, but who actually fast forwards through this part? If you do, leave like and comment and share. I don't know. Tell me.
Be the second comment on our Spotify.
Tell us what happened. If you actually are like, oh, maybe I'll go watch this. Let me fast forward around the ending. Derek sometimes does the last hour of the movie. So
I've been better.
You have been a lot better.
I've been doing
it's
the last
one-pagers.
The last 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Instead of the last 30.
Yeah.
There's no need for all
You
that.
just have such a way with words.
I guess that's what it is. Those 2 years of college I went to really, I don't know, did something to me.
Look at you now.
Here we go, people. Taylor and the boys start trying to assist the defenseless teenagers at the Vernon farmhouse as Leslie picks them off one by one. After the death of Kelly, and with Taylor and Doug hiding in the barn with 2 of the teenagers, it dawns on Taylor that Leslie reached out to her and the camera crew to document his work because she is the intended survivor girl. Dr. Halloran shows up, but Doug accidentally bashes him with a shovel while the 2 teenagers run off straight to Leslie. The girl is hooked to death while the boy is strung up by his neck and tackled off the loft of the barn. Leslie catches up to Doug and Taylor, but Dr. Halloran intercepts him and is stabbed for his efforts. Leslie continues chasing them, and Doug confronts him just to have his head thrown against a wall, so Taylor jumps out of a window and escapes down a ramp. She eventually finds an axe for protection and heads into the woods. Leslie isn't far behind with his scythe and eventually finds her, but she gives him a nice slice to the stomach. With Leslie down, she finds a cider shack and decides to go inside. Surprised, Leslie shows up, and they get into some fisticuffs. But eventually, Leslie gets the upper hand, and as he's choking Taylor out, she grabs his scythe and stabs him in the ribs. With him now reeling in pain, Taylor throws his head under the apple grinder. He rips off his mask and exclaims, that he knew she was the one before she finishes the job. Taylor sets the shack on fire and finds Doug and Dr. Halloran outside. The three embrace while the building falls into a burning heap, and Dr. Halloran repeats that he is just a man. During the credits, we get a shot of the security camera footage from the morgue, and Leslie's charred body rises while Psycho Killer by the Talking Heads plays us out. The end.
Psycho killer. Qu'est-ce que c'est? Also, fisticuffs, Brian. Sometimes I wonder.
Fisticuffs.
Run away.
I sometimes wonder where you get your words.
I feel like
Fisticuffs.
two gentlemen that got a lot of moxie.
They're going
They got
here.
They got big handlebar mustaches and top hats, and they're in the streets. They were running in the fisticuffs.
Fisticuffs.
What did you guys think of the ending, Brian?
I liked it. Just like the whole end sequence. Like, if you might not catch it, but it's like, because we don't really see like the two camera guys in the movie, and it's designed to be that way because once Taylor decides, hey, I'm going to go try to stop Leslie, they put the cameras down, and then the rest of the movie it's not shot like documentary. The rest of the movie is just the movie, and now there are characters in the movie. And I do like the reveal of Taylor actually being the survivor girl.
Yeah, I love that.
Very
twist.
clever twist, yeah.
Yes, I loved it.
Yeah.
Because they literally, I had no inkling. Not
No,
until
nor
she
did
was
I.
sitting in the kitchen with her head down, and I was like, wait a second. Maybe?
There was also the moment when he was talking to Eugene, and Eugene asked about the red herring, and then his explanation of what a red herring is completely wrong. And I was like, the second time I was watching, I was like, he was just trying to throw maybe Taylor off any kind of trail that would have led her to think.
Oh, that she was the red herring.
Because I think he said a red herring was like the first one you kill or something. And I was like, what the hell is he talking about?
It has to be someone that is like...
It's a fake out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, which made the movie even more genius to me. The second time I watched it, I loved it like 10 times more than the first. But yeah, the ending of this film was fantastic. Love the twist.
They kind of set it up because like he went through the step by step of what's going to happen that night. So you were in it like, oh, this is where they need to go, and this one, and it kind of changes, and then you're starting to question, why is it changing? Why is he doing things differently? Yeah, just like they are. So
I found it funny, but remember that I think it was a Geico commercial that was making fun of slasher films, where it had like the people like, no, don't run away. Go to the shack with all the sharp objects.
Yeah.
Like when they were running from the car and then back from the car to the bar, I was like, this is
the
reminding me
Geico
of
commercial.
that fucking Geico commercial. And I was dying.
I also think like the slasher in that Geico commercial kind of looks like Leslie Vernon. Now that I'm thinking about it.
Oh, I gotta go back and.
Now I'm gonna go look.
Are you gonna pull it up?
Maybe, but you can keep talking.
They should sue Geico.
Yeah, right. All right, so let's give our stabs. Brian, how many stabs?
I was a little torn between this. Just, I didn't want my fondness of the movie to get in the way.
Mm-hmm.
But after multiple rewatchings and talking with you guys about it, I am going to stand by my 5.
Ooh,
I think it's a hidden gem.
Yes.
That once people see it and they know what it is, hopefully they feel the same way.
Yeah. Part of my homework whenever we do movies is I like to go listen to a bunch of other podcasts and see, what people on the street, what people feel about this movie.
What the kids are saying?
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Doesn't it kind of look like him?
So Shelly found the Geico commercial, and the guy's mask looks pretty freaking similar to Mr. Leslie Vernon's turtle mask.
It's just white, not blue.
Yeah, but pretty close.
Yeah.
But yeah, so people will hold this movie in high regard, and I think it's for good reason. I don't know if you'd call it a low budget, but it definitely, like, I don't know what. So
I would call it a cult
It's
movie.
definitely a cult, but
a lot of people watch it from word of mouth, not because it like was commercialized or anything like that.
And I feel
it's definitely an indie movie.
Yes, but I know Anchor Bay was a distribution company, and it was only at the theaters for. This is a fun fact. It was only at the theaters for a quick little moment. And I heard somewhere, I don't know if this is true, but apparently Anchor Bay just put it into the theaters because they wanted to get a bunch of quotes for like DVD releases.
That sounds about right.
But so I don't know. Anchor Bay maybe should have left it sitting out there a little bit longer. People probably by word of mouth would have came out, and maybe it would have grown a little more. But it's such a fun movie. I was highly entertained. Loved the surprise of Taylor. I give it a 4.5.
Nice.
High
Yes.
regard, high regard.
High regard, very. Shelley, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, it's entertaining. It's a good twist. It's decent mockumentary, found footage, documentary, actual movie. It's got a little bit of everything going on.
Yeah.
But I am going to give it a 3.5.
3.5.
Yeah, it's a really good movie. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I have so many other movies I would watch before it, and I will always recommend it to anyone who hasn't seen it.
Yeah.
It is a solid, fun slasher movie, but like if you're not into the genre, like
Yeah, you may not get the
it's
references.
not for everyone.
Yeah,
It's
Right.
for people who love the genre, and I think
Mhm.
it pigeonholes itself in that essence a little bit.
that's fair. Yeah.
It could be a 4 for me, but I'm gonna drop it just a little bit. So
Yeah.
solid movie though.
Yeah.
Like I said, 100% if you've never seen this movie and you're a fan of the slasher genre, watch the movie. But honestly, I don't think anyone who isn't aware or knows the horror slasher genre would enjoy this movie. So
Mhm.
I wouldn't recommend it to just anyone.
I think this is for people who are deep into it and have
And
a reverence for it. Yeah.
I wouldn't let kids watch this.
Yeah. There is a shot of just boobs getting groped
Lots
very
of boobs.
gratuitously. That was a moment. That was a moment I had to make sure Ian was away.
Fun fact: those were stunt boobs.
Stunt boobs.
Oh, well, you could kind of tell because
It didn't look like they were the same.
no.
They didn't belong on that
Yeah.
girl's body.
definitely not.
Were they also stunt hands that were groping the boobies?
I don't remember. They talked about it.
I don't
on
know.
one of
As
the
the actor,
commentaries.
he probably was like, I
Yeah,
could
yeah.
still do this part, guys.
I'm all right. I got it.
I got it.
It's for the continuity of it. It's got to be
Right. It's got to be my hands.
Yeah.
You see them later. So
Yeah. People are not going to like it. All right, let's get on to our next segment, Voices from Beyond. And this is where Shelley will share you guys' thoughts.
yeah, as always, like, comment, give us your reviews. You could end up on the podcast like little Brian
Yeah.
M one day. I was like, I'm lacking comments, unfortunately.
We got a couple today.
Because Brian's a part of it.
I know
So
Brian-
I don't have a Brian comment.
We're missing our Brian comments because
yeah.
Brian's a part of the pod today.
He got to do it. So we've got Lisa C, who I spent the day with. I was like, go put your comment out there.
Do your job.
She said, I feel it pays respect in a fun way to the traditional horror movies I grew up on. The twist of the documentary crew becoming the victims was done clean and clever. I chuckle at this movie a lot. I would pick up again. I say 3.5 out of 5. Sherry F said, I love that this movie doesn't take itself seriously. It's just the right amount of camp that makes it easy to watch over and over, and the icons making cameos is icing on the cake. And Carrie W said, first time seeing this movie and really enjoyed it. The movie is a great dive into the slasher genre. Taylor was a great final girl and loved that twist. Give it a 3.5 out of 5. I actually think I just saw a new comment come in.
Oh my goodness.
Live grabbing
Live.
it. This is Roger R.
Roger.
I really enjoyed this movie. It's a fun take on the slasher genre. Here's one fact. Fun fact.
Ooh.
This film takes place in the same universe as Hatchet.
Oh, really?
No idea.
I didn't know that. Did you know that, Brian?
Which then Kane
I
Hodder
did not
makes
know that.
sense.
Okay.
Because Kane Hodder is
Isn't
Hatchet.
Yeah.
So
Victor Crowley.
Yeah. I had no idea.
That's awesome.
Way to
I
come in
didn't know
clutch.
that. Coming in clutch. At the buzzer.
Coming in clutch.
Roger. Nice.
I mean, I guess that makes sense that he would be in there as well because I mean, there's mentions of everybody else. So why wouldn't
Very true. Yeah.
Why wouldn't Victor Crowley be there?
Yeah. When did the Hatchet movies come out? Were they after Leslie?
First one was 2007. I remember.
Okay.
Because that was my brain tumor year, and I was talking to Adam Green about it when I met him at
Nice.
Spooky last year.
Yeah. Okay. So that's awesome. Thanks, Roger, for that little tidbit.
Yeah, thanks, Roger R, for coming in at the last minute.
Better late than never.
Yeah, that's true. Better late than never. That's right. But all right, let's move into our new segment called Loose Ends. And this is a catch-all segment where we talk about any fun facts or any last thoughts.
I'm like, have we never done this segment before?
We do it every episode.
You're like, a brand new segment.
Oh, yeah, I guess. Well, this year it's brand new.
Jerk.
It's only brand new because I named it something different anyways. It's still the same fun facts. All right.
I was just like,
Brian,
what?
I know you came with some stuff, so I'm going to give the floor to you first, bud.
All right. So I like we mentioned before, I love the ending.
Yeah.
The fact that they, like a little indie movie, was able to get Psycho Killer by the Talking Heads
I
to play
know.
on the credits, like
Such a
that's
good
crazy. But I think like the Leslie getting up again. Like a lot of movies have done that. Like the two I could think off the top of my head are like Terrifier
Yep.
and Halloween Resurrection, I think it was.
Mm.
Whereas like they come back to life in the morgue, but I think this one was like just the right amount of like subtlety, and like you don't see it because it cuts off like right as soon as like the morgue worker turns back around. So
Yeah.
I thought that was like just the right balance for that.
I like that it started right at the credits too, so it wasn't like you were sitting through credits and then the scene pops up. It's like, no, we got things to do. Let's do this at the same time.
Right. There was also apparently there was supposed to be a sequel that exists in comic book form.
Okay.
I need to try to track that down. I guess like they tried to do like a Kickstarter or GoFundMe or something.
Yeah.
But they didn't raise enough money, so
yeah. I have that.
Hopefully we'll get it someday.
Yeah, I had that there was a script for a sequel, but as of 2017, Glosserman said it's dated at this point because at the time when they were writing the script, there was a lot of that like Saw and Hostel, like the gore porn stuff was out. So it was like speaking on that. He said if as of 2017, if we would have tried to put it out then, it would have been dated and it wouldn't have made sense. He said if he got the opportunity to make the screenplay, he doesn't know if he would update. So it's a bit of a conundrum for him because he doesn't know if he even wants to put the work in. So I don't know if we'll ever get anything.
Fingers crossed, but if we don't, I think it still stands fine by itself.
Oh, yes. I know, some things just jump the shark and, ruin the legacy of the original. So, I think the legacy of this film can stand on its feet thus far.
Mm-hmm.
You got any more fun facts?
Oh, I have Easter eggs galore. Well, I mean, like all the stuff like right off the bat, like it was one of my pros. It's like this sets you up like that, like, oh, what's that? Oh, that.
Yeah.
So it's like right off the bat, like we talked about earlier, you have Kane Hodder going into the Elm Street house when Taylor is doing her setting up the documentary in the beginning.
Oh, the little news footage?
Yes. She's standing outside the Rabbit in Red, which was the lounge from the original Halloween that they had the matchbook for.
Yeah.
And then also in that opening montage, it's subtle. Like I didn't catch it the first time, but when they look in the window, when they're talking about Michael Myers, the kids aren't wearing masks per se, but they are the embodiments of the Halloween 3 masks. There's one kid there's one kid dressed as a witch.
Yeah.
One kid dressed as a skeleton, and when the mom comes over to shut the window,
yes,
the kid that she's carrying is dressed as a pumpkin.
When I saw that moment, I was like, "Oh shit!" I wonder, but I didn't dig into too deep into the fun facts to see if that was the case. But yeah, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm. And then also later on in the movie, when they get to Eugene's, the car that's sitting outside is the same one that's in Evil Dead.
Oh yeah, outside of Eugene's house.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I recognize that. See that vehicle in a lot of places. The Delta.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
I don't think you mentioned this one, but mine was the Freddy girls.
Freddy?
The 1-2
yes.
Freddy's Coming for You girls.
Yep.
That's right.
That was my favorite Easter egg. So if you're watching it, they go to a college campus just to look at people. It's not actually any of the people that he's stalking.
Yes.
But he goes in about this one girl and they make eye contact, and in the background, the girls who sing 1-2 Freddy is Coming for You are playing jump rope.
Yeah.
Which they do when they're singing that, but they're on the college campus doing that.
Yeah. Nice. Any other ones, Brian?
Yep. Oh, I had that one written down.
Nice.
So Shelley got that one. So good catch on that.
I had to put my favorite one in there.
So good.
So Leslie's turtles, Church and Zoe, those are named after the cat from Pet Sematary and the dog from Pet Sematary 2.
Yeah, his turtles. Yeah. I recognize Church.
I haven't seen the second one. All I know is like the kid from Terminator 2 was in it.
Yeah.
That's all I know about that movie. I don't think I've ever actually seen it. Yeah.
Edward Furlong. Yeah.
And then just a couple other ones. There is the Hellraiser box in the background when Leslie is talking at Eugene's place.
Oh yeah,
it's just like randomly on the table.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
When he's getting ready, when he's putting like the stuff on his face, he has a bottle of Stay Awake, which was the pills from A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
And then there's also I didn't catch this one until I was listening to the commentary, but there's a set of like building blocks when he's talking to Taylor, and and then because it's backwards, it says they spell it red rum.
I didn't
Because
see that
it's
at all.
backwards. Yeah, it's very hard. It's very easy to miss. So.
Okay. All right. Well, I own the DVD, so I can go back and watch it anytime I want.
Yes. And then the only other thing that was really kind of weird though is because like in the trailer there's like a brief thing of like Doc Halloran in a courtroom scene.
Yeah.
That does not exist anywhere.
I didn't look at the deleted scenes. It's not even there either.
It's not in the deleted scenes, and like there's people even in the credits, like, and I think like Scott Glosserman, the director, is credited as being like a juror or bailiff or something, but those scenes just don't exist anywhere. So I thought that was really weird that they weren't included.
Yeah, that is weird.
But like maybe it wouldn't fit with a Well, it could or couldn't fit with a documentary.
Yeah.
The last little nugget I have is
perfect.
Doc Halloran is actually a combination of Doc was the kid's nickname from The Shining, and Halloran was Dick Halloran.
That one's connected. I get that.
Yep.
Some of them I'm like, I don't know, but that one I was like, all right, cool. I got that one. Nice.
Yep, well, that's what I got.
Thanks for doing all that digging, Brian. Doing all the heavy lifting.
All the fun facts for this new and improved.
New and improved.
Segment called Loose Ends.
Yes. All right, so we are coming to the end of our show, and this is where we get into our wheel. So let's do Wheel of Death. But first and foremost, Shelly is taking her beautiful hand and getting it inside the bag, mixing it about, and going to find a movie to replace Leslie Vernon on the wheel. So let me get my app up, too.
Are you ready for this segment?
I will be in a freaking second.
Let's see what we got.
Let's see what
we got. Okay. Manifesting something.
Ooh, manifesting something?
Manifesto.
Oh.
It is one of mine.
I like it.
It is one of mine.
And what movie is that? Oh, you're
I don't know. We've had a lot of my movies already.
We have. You don't have too many left. What do we have?
Interesting.
Your interesting movie?
Interesting. It's Frozen, which just happens to be an Adam Green movie. Hey, and we've talked so much about Hatchet tonight.
Nice.
So I've never seen it. I've heard great things.
My sister-in-law tried to talk to me about it, and I was like, I haven't seen it yet. And I was like, but it's going to be on the podcast, hopefully.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Frozen.
What about you, Brian? Have you seen it?
I have not seen
Elsa
it.
on Frozen. Just for any of our younger listeners.
Let it go.
We're not going to be watching the Disney version.
Don't get it twisted.
Yeah, I have not seen it, but I did when you revealed it for the wheel. I was like, all right, let me save it in case we get it. So.
Nice. Brian, thanks so much. By the way, as an aside, thank you so much for being like consistent and always like trying to watch these films with us. Because I know sometimes it's not like on a streamable service and it's like behind a pay service. Right. So,
yeah, like I definitely appreciate you guys having me.
Yeah, for sure.
Like once I found out about the podcast, whatever spooky I was at with Shelly, like I basically binged like that. I think it was like you guys were probably like halfway through the first season.
Okay.
So I just binged it at work like in a day and a half.
Yeah. We're easy to take down. It's very nice podcast.
Absolutely.
Soothing voices
very soothing,
that we have.
Yeah, we try. All right, let's read off the list of the movies on the Wheel of Death.
Bring it to us.
All right. So we have The Exorcist Believer, The Haunting, Lake Mungo, The Wailing, Frozen, new film, The Babadook, Children of the Corn, The Shining, Event Horizon, and 30 Days of Night. I have to say, this wheel is strong.
I'm not mad about a lot of things on it.
All right, you guys ready to do the chant?
Ready.
Yes.
All right, here we go. Wheel of Death. Wheel of Death. Wheel of Death. Hey, and next up we have 30 Days of Night.
Nice. Is that you?
That is
you
me.
pick?
That is a Derek pick. And that is a vampire flick with Mr.
It is a vampire with Josh Hartnett.
Thank you.
Heartthrob Josh Hartnett.
Yeah.
Shelley's boyfriend from back in the day.
It was. Gosh,
Yeah.
nice memory. I did have a crush on Josh Hartnett back in the day.
And we talked about it last.
He was a handsome dude.
We talked about it
That's
last
good.
episode. Is it on a?
I don't see it available right now,
Let's
but
see.
you can probably rent it on any platforms that you might have.
We will like with Leslie Vernon.
We'll hunt it down.
We'll hunt it down if we can find it anywhere free. We will let you guys know. But yeah, next up we have 30 Days of Night.
And he's coming out in a new horror movie.
Exactly.
And he hasn't acted for years.
I know. I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
It looks cool. Trapped, I think, is what it's called.
Inside of a convention.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or concert.
Was it a concert? Okay,
yeah,
that's right. That's right.
Yeah. But
Convention, concert, same thing.
Inside a big building.
A lot of people.
All right. So thanks again, Brian. Thanks for joining us. It was an absolute pleasure. Thanks for listening. Thanks for the submission. Leslie Vernon was a blast to watch. I'm glad that I didn't watch this movie at all, and I just bought it. Like, no buyer's remorse at all. This was very well worth the Blu-ray DVD because I'm trapped in 2010.
I'm glad you liked it. And thanks for having me, and I appreciate you guys having me. And I'm sorry I couldn't be there in person, but maybe another time we can work something out.
We're happy to have you either way.
Yeah, absolutely. Any way we can have you, we will have you. So it was our pleasure for sure.
Thank you.
Derek.
I take people many ways.
Ooh.
So, next episode drops May 22nd. If you listen on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please hit the follow button and give us a rating and review if you like what we do. You can find us on Facebook and TikTok by searching Little Bracket of Horrors, and on Instagram by typing at Little Bracket of Horrors. We also have merch available at tpublic.com. Just search for our name in our website search bar or pay attention to our socials for a direct link. Thank you everyone for tuning in. I'm Derek.
I'm Shelly.
And I'm Brian.
And we will catch you on the other side.
He's playing.
Am I on? I feel like I turned it off.
You're on.
Oh, okay.
He turned it on.
Oh, okay. Are
Yes.
you on? So, Ian, tell me a little bit about your experience with trying out for soccer.
Goalie.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but like, how was it? Was it stressful? Were you scared? Were you nervous?
Soccer.
You can't just say one word.
Soccer.
This is an interview. You have to answer the question.
Goalie.
Can you believe that?
Soccer, bro. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Mhm.
Super cool. How about the right hand? There you go. That's good. Good job.
I said I need a game schedule so I can come see you rock it.
I'm not letting your good thumb go. I would take off your good thumb.
And I played goalie.
Yeah. I would not let your good thumb go.
My good thumb? How
Yeah.
dare you? How dare you?
Yeah.
He's only got one good one. Like, go. What's this thing behind you? Is this a science project, Ian?
Yeah.
For the science fair? What was your hypothesis? Solubility.
Mhm.
What did you guess?
So, we said that that down there next to the sheet paper is the only thing that can take off a marker. So I can bring what. This is our sketch of it.
Okay.
Yeah, and then
Okay.
we didn't do anything in this. We just used it as a sketch. But Jeriana, Daniel, Lone, and Ian. We forgot to put her name in it.
It was a team project.
Yeah, it was a team project.
You have to do rock, paper, scissors to win it.
Oh, good God, child. All right, see ya, Ian.
Bye.
Keep it real.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Okay,
Bye.
let's record the podcast. We
Bye.
already delayed them like 45
Bye.
minutes.
Ah.
Your face is so dirty. Go wipe your
It is gross.
We were playing Keep It Up out back, and he did something. I went to grab the ball, I came back, and he just looked like Mad Max. He just had dirt all over his face.
Nice.
I was like, what did you do? Here.
Massacre.
It's called Brian.
Massacre of a child's face. Oh, scared me. It's like I was expecting it, but
Hello.
Brian.
Yes. Hi, Derek.
Hey, what's up, bud?
How you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
Good.
We got Shelly here.
Hello.
Hi, Shelly.
It's a fancy setup we got.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah.
fancy.
perfect. How was the Rays game?
They lost. The Mets
The Mets
did.
lost all the games.
Oh, shit.
Womp womp.
Yeah,
I think Joanna was there. Do you remember Joanna?
Joanna.
You don't know Joanna. I'm talking to
for
Brian.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if she was there or not, but probably.
She was posting about like the Ray Stadium, and I know she's a Mets fan, so I think she
that's
might have gone to a game this
Interesting.
weekend. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
do they play tomorrow too, though?
What's that?
Do they play tomorrow too, or no?
No, it was we were Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then we're
okay.
heading back tomorrow.
Oh,
Nice. Well, I think Brian sounds good. I think he's at a good level.
yeah,
think
I like it.
All
I
right,
like
cool.
it.
All right. I guess I'll kick off the intro, and then we'll get into it.
Yeah.
All right,
Any
Brian?
questions, Brian,
Yeah,
before
yeah.
we get started?
No, I'm good to go.
You've listened to us enough.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's gonna be the same format, and
Exactly.
no changes. And you have the format in front of you. So.
Yeah.
Yep. I got my notes. I'm good to go.
Sweet. All
All
right.
right.
We do have like a music intro we play
Yeah,
live. So
Every single time we do it. Instead of me just having a little audio recording of it, we just record it live every single time.
yeah,
Nice.
we have. We're fancy. But not that fancy.
Not that fancy, that's right.
We don't want to go too far.
All right, here we go. Y'all ready?
Y'all, I'm ready.
Y'all ready for this?
Hell yeah. Nice, Brian. You fit in perfectly with us. Well, obviously you and Shelly. Yeah. What part are you doing?
Huh?
I hope you like it.
Oh.
I hope you like it.
Brian's the best. All right, here we
She
go.
dropped off my For You page too, like on TikTok. I don't see her as much anymore. You've never seen her?
She has not
I'm
shown up.
shocked that your phone wasn't listening.
I
to
was
us.
I forget what I was thinking about the other day, and then something popped up, and I was like, is that Neuralink stuff going on yet?
Yeah.
It freaked me out. I was like, I didn't even say anything, and it popped up. All right.
Whoever's writing these little write-ups on Apple TV's app about like what these movies are about, like must have like a fancy schmancy degree, because listen,
Oh my gosh.
during an annual month-long polar night, a small Alaskan town is attacked by a bloodthirsty gang of vampires bent on an uninterrupted orgy of destruction.
Wow.
As mayhem engulfs the town, the sheriff and his wife fight to save their family.
Oh goodness.
I mean, maybe they copy and pasted it,
Yeah.
but who knows?
I know. Sometimes I go on like Rotten Tomatoes,
And, that
and like
maybe
some people are just like they're using all the 25-cent words. We're just like, all right, college degree.
Ooh.
But yeah,
Anyways.
Brian,
All right.
awesome.
That was it.
Yep.
That's that.
Cool.
Are you guys staying the night, obviously, and heading back tomorrow?
Yeah.
Cool.
Enjoy everything that fabulous St. Petersburg has to
Yes.
offer.
There's the Dolly Museum.
The pier. We
Next
sound
to
like
the pier. And you can stop at Al Lang and watch the Rowdies play. You like soccer, Brian?
I don't.
Damn it.
womp, womp,
Womp,
womp.
womp.
You and Derek can't be friends. Sorry.
Mortal enemies now.
Ah.
And Brian, I almost got to talk to him at the last convention.
Yep.
Because he was at the David Naughton Q&A.
Yeah.
When I asked the question, and Brian gave a whoop when I said I'm from a podcast, Little Bracket of Horrors. It's like whoop. I'm like, someone here knows my podcast. And I was like, there's no way. And then when I sat down, I was looking, and I was like, oh, that might be Brian over there. Kind of looks like him. So
Yep.
we were
Sweet little
we
Brian.
just missed each other.
We're
like
ships in the night.
Exactly.
Have you met Brian in person?
We have not met yet in person.
I've met him in person.
You have.
Yeah. Several
I would
times.
hope so.
Yeah.
Several times.
Yes.
Not just since we started the podcast. Like,
What'd you do on the Great Movie Ride? Did you do any acting?
I did everything. I was the tour
He was
guide,
an
the bandit,
actor.
gangster.
Oh, that's so cool.
he did Gangster Bandit tour guide, but
Yeah.
we most loved him for his coordinator work.
Okay.
I was
Yeah.
like, you're the man in charge?
Yeah.
No, that's not really why I became friends with him. We like similar things. We
Yeah.
hung out and played Guitar Hero a lot.
Yeah, Guitar Hero was sick.
Yeah. We had a whole band. Like, we had,
the drum kit.
I want to say we had the mic, 2 guitars, and a
Uh-huh.
drum.
Yep.
So did I.
We had
It was
the full
essential.
setup.
Who played what?
We switched it up.
Oh, you did switch it up?
Yeah.
I was always hogging the drums.
Were you hanging the drums?
I was hogging the drums every
I
time.
don't. We switched up, didn't we, Brian?
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
like
switched it
I
up, yeah.
was horrible at drums, but I actually would do bass like the most because nobody wanted to play bass. I would just
Yeah.
that's how that's how I
yeah,
learned to play
that's
the
true.
game was because nobody wanted to play bass. So I'm like, I'll play bass and learn how to play the game. Sure.
Did you ever play solo?
Oh, absolutely.
That was the best. I would just be in my living room just playing on the drums, and Carrie would come in from work, be like, "Nice, Guitar Hero again."
Guitar Hero. I had the whole setup for a little bit.
Oh
but-
no, I'm sorry, Rock Band.
Yeah.
I
You played Rock Band.
I played Rock Band. I'm sorry.
Didn't we play? We played Guitar Hero
Yeah. Well, it started off with Guitar Hero and then that evolved into
and
Rock Band. Yeah.
Rock Band.
God, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
Those were the days.
Yeah.
Brian was that coordinator that
Yeah.
like wanted to like have a good time, but that's what we loved about him.
Yeah.
Because there was other coordinators that we were like, "You're no fun."
Yeah. By the way, Shelly is wearing her great movie ride.
I did wear a great movie
Tank.
ride shirt
Nice.
today.
to
It
represent.
says R.I.P. on it.
Do you have some great movie ride swag at all, Brian?
Yeah. I have some shirts and stuff, and
Yeah.
we had
Yeah.
we did a movie day once. I don't think I owned everything, but I think
Oh
we,
yeah, where we like watched all the different movies
yeah,
from the
and
movie
like in
ride.
order of like how they were on the ride too. Yeah.
That's fun.
I had a movie ride nightmare last night, Brian.
Ooh.
Oh my
I was training someone and I knew none of the.
Oh no.
I don't remember. I like remember Welcome Aboard at this time. Like I remember that
Yeah.
little spiel, but like
Well, they changed the spiel so many times. How are you supposed to remember which
Right,
version
right.
it was?
and the
Mm.
TCM version, I knew none of that. So like, it's like I remember what it was at the end, like just by writing it as a guest.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that that script. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
What was your favorite role in a great movie ride?
so the most coveted was Bandit
Okay.
because there was only a couple bandits every day. It was very nice.
Okay.
And it was very cush down in the bandit break room.
Mm.
Plus, you got to blow up the fucking bank.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Every time, like fire.
But yeah. Well, welcome to our great movie ride podcast.
Yeah.
Give you a little behind the scenes.
It's called Once a Movie Writer.
Yeah.
Or something like
This
that.
will be fun. This will be on the bonus stuff. I'll keep
Yeah.
this. It's all fun. Hell yeah. All
Sorry, I
right.
don't mean to play footsie with you now.
I don't
Shit.
mind. I don't
Things-
mind. You're the sister wife to my wife.
I know.
But,
But
it's not
th-
that.
that we
No,
don't. but it's not that.
between us. There is no line between us. There's just we both have a line to
We
carry,
have Carrie.
and then we just we have an understanding
I
with
need my
each other.
wife. I need my wife.
Yeah. All right, Brian, we're gonna let you go, and I'm gonna end this. All right, bud.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me.
Are you gonna be at Spooky next weekend?
Couple weeks. Yeah.
I'm just gonna be there on Sunday.
Okay.
Alright, well, look
Yeah.
for us.
Yes,
yeah,
definitely.
we may.
Oh, yeah, I know you guys may not.
we may
come
not be there,
Friday.
but we're gonna be there in some capacity. So
Yeah.
if you're out there Sunday, shoot me a text, and if I'm around, we'll meet up. All right, bud.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. All right. Thanks again, Brian. We'll talk to you later.
All right. Thanks for having me.
May.
Bye.